Hello and welcome to the House of Valentina. I'm Valentina. Today we're going to be talking about designer hacks that you can totally steal and are actually budget friendly and easy to use. So I'm really excited because we just recently renovated an entire building with Ty Pennington. We built it literally from the ground up. And we also, at the end, got to decorate an entire penthouse. It was so much fun. And I've got a couple rooms left to share with you. And I thought maybe I would share with you some of my favorite hacks that I used in these rooms so you guys can steal some ideas and use them at your own home. I think you're gonna love it. I hope you'll wanna hang around a little while longer. So make sure you hit subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. We are well on our way to 350,000 subscribers. That's amazing. So thank you so much and let's jump in. And set it down. I get excited, okay? I get excited because I love decorating spaces. I love designing the space. I love watching the building come together. I love the room getting all put together. But at the end, my favorite part is styling the space up. And so today, these tips are those kinds of tips. These are easy things that you can do in your spaces. They don't involve renovations. So my first tip is to use the wall color. Again, you need to repeat the wall color in your space. So for me, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll buy the rug first and then maybe pick the wall color because that would be an easier way of doing things. However, in this case, we were given the wall color first because we had that brick that had just gone in. It was mimicking the original brick that was in there. And so what we wanted to do was we wanted to bring that color into the space. So a couple easy ways to do that. I did it through the rug on the floor. I found that one at Home Goods, so it was super affordable. If you guys watch our Friday with V vlogs, you even got to see us going and purchasing that one. So the rug is a really great starting point, but you can't stop there. You really need to repeat that color at least 3 times in the space, at least. You can repeat it even more. So in this space, you see it in the blanket that's on the chair, you see it in the artwork that's on the walls, you see it in the vase, but that brick, it wasn't really just one color, right? So I grabbed that pinkish color, but I also saw that there was quite a lot of brown in it as well. So I used that color in the space as well through the basket that was sitting on the floor. You've got the links that are sitting underneath the window, and even the little light that's over the chair just has a little bit of those brownish tones in there. And of course the rug had them as well. So repeating the wall color throughout your space really helps to give you a very cohesive look. It makes it feel really pulled together. It makes it feel thoughtful. It makes it feel thought out. And that's a designer hack that you can steal no matter what your budget is. One of my absolute favorite things to do is to use books for decor. First of all, I just love buying books. Yeah, I just love books, okay, for so many reasons. Books look absolutely amazing just simply because they have a linen cover, they have a lot of texture. If you see the pages, they just literally add something tactile to your space. So books are always a good idea. It's something that I use all the time. You probably already have some books laying around your house. Now I will suggest that you use larger books. For me, a lot of times that means that I'm gonna use decorating books because of course that's what I really love. But I'll even look and see what my clients are interested in. So you might have a book about, oh, I don't know, Jacques Cousteau. We've got Porsche books, we've got Land Rover books, whatever your interest is, having a large book that you can set out really does make the space look really warm and inviting. It has a little bit of texture. So how do you actually use the books once you've already got them? I use them in a few different ways. One of my favorite ways is to actually use it to just simply make another item look bigger. So I'll set it down by one book maybe by itself, and then I'll set something down on top of it, and it makes that item just a little bit bigger. It also is really great if you want to hide outlets. I did that in the loft upstairs. I didn't like the fact that the outlet was really showing. It was kind of glaring. So I used a book to lift Mozart's bust up and cover that outlet. I don't even think you can see it in the photo because I was so sneaky about it. I love these magazines that are like books, like Oak and Kinfolk, and I have stacks of those. And so I love to take something that's similar like that and just create a stack. So if you have a stack of magazines that are pretty on the binding, you can just take those and have a repeat effect, and it really kind of shows like a book would. I am also apparently quite famous for the fact that I like to open the books and leave them open. I don't know, it's a thing, I just love to do it. I saw a lot of my Scandinavian friends doing it actually, so I can't take credit for it. When we were living over in Copenhagen, I saw that they would leave books open. I thought that that was really beautiful. And so it's just something that I like to do, because a lot of times if the book is closed, you don't get to enjoy what's inside of it. But if you open it up, then you get to enjoy whatever it is inside. So whether it's your hobby that you love, if you love fly fishing and you've got a great fly fishing book, or you love horses and you've got a beautiful picture of a horse that's inside this gorgeous book, you're never gonna get to see it unless you have it open. And I love to use it as art and also as decor. I wanted to take just a moment and thank our video sponsor for today, which is Article. Article is seriously one of my favorite designer, let's call it hack, one of my favorite designer sources. They are amazing. As a designer, one of the really important parts of my job is to recommend to my clients furniture and accessories, of course, all the things that it takes to complete a space that will also last a long time. And so for me, Article is a go-to source for modern, beautiful furniture that's also super affordable. I absolutely love Article because they deliver straight to your door. They have fast, free delivery on orders over $9.99. I love the fact that they even let you shop by in-stock items. They are literally one of my go-to sources. I really do love their pieces, and I have them in my own home. I use them in my clients' homes all the time, and I just love them. So in today's video, you're getting to see a few extra pieces that we haven't shown you in some of the other spaces. One of those is the spin calcite chair. I absolutely love that chair. I love that ivory fabric. I love those brass colored legs. I love the fact that the chair swivels, I like the low profile arms. It's really comfy to sit in. I can tell you, it is lovely. We also had the Ludo side tables, and actually we're using them as bedside tables, but you don't have to just use those as bedside tables. They're made of a gunmetal. They've got the glass top and the shelf down below, so it's perfect because it really is a great piece if you want to kind of see through the top and not have too much clutter in a space, but then you can store things down below as well. So I loved them in the bedroom, but I think in a living room, they would also look absolutely gorgeous. The Linea Black Ash dresser. I'm like, how many times have I ordered this dresser? And every time my clients are like, whoa, this is so nice. And I'm like, I know, isn't it? It's so good. I love the black ash, yet it's really sleek and modern. Of course, I love the black color. I also have the Tessu bed in this space, and this time we used actually the queen. I love the fact that it's a low profile bed because it really helps make the ceilings look higher. It is a piece that I recommend all the time, and I think just is a gorgeous, stunning piece. And then up in the loft, we also had the Leap black floor lamp. I love this lamp so much. I've used this one again in so many of my projects. I like the fact that it's a mix of shiny and matte metal. I love the copper accents, the beautiful shape of it. We just absolutely love their furniture, and we're very confident in recommending them to you guys because we've been using them ourselves, our clients are using them, and everybody has always given us a resounding, wow, this stuff is so well made. So thank you so much to Article again, and make sure you check down below for all the links. Another little designer hack that is something that you can do no matter what your budget is that I think mixing old with new really gives you a very warm, a very approachable look. I love to create luxury looks in my homes. It's what my clients, really what they kind of hire me for. We work in the luxury market. They have beautiful homes and they want something that feels luxurious, but they also want something that feels approachable. And so the way in which I go about that is that I always include new and old in the space. So sometimes when the home is really, really new and it looks very pristine and nothing really has had time to even get patina on it, it's my job to make that space feel a little bit more lived in. And so what I'll do is I'll bring in things that are a little bit older. Now, the Otis building was an interesting project because we were trying to make the building look like it was original. So we had put the brick in and we had put in those older floors. So we wanted it to look like it was older. And so we were mixing constantly throughout that space, the new and the old, the new and the old, because in some ways it did look older, and then in other ways it looked brand spanking new. And so a couple different ways that we did that. On the bookshelves, we put the planter on the bookshelf. That planter had literally been sitting out in my garden. So my husband is a little bit notorious. I'll say, hey, can we like take that, the plant's dead, let's get rid of the planter and just put it on the side yard. And then he leaves it out there and never gets rid of the plant. And then, a couple months later I go out there and I'm like, oh my gosh, the neighbors probably saw that there's been like planters with dead things sitting on the side yard. Hopefully they can't see it. But planters that sit outside, they age really well. And so I had that really old planter and it looked great sitting on the shelf. I used things that had a patina to them. Like Mozart's bust had a little bit of warmth and patina to him. But then I mixed it with that glossy vase. You've got the pristine look of the brass knot that's on there, and the rest of the space itself was quite new, and so we were trying to just really warm that space and create that sort of balance. Down in the bedroom, we also mixed, of course, the brick walls and the old floor with a really modern bed. We mixed it with that rug that it looked older even if it was new. We had the more modern looking tables, but then we had the patina of the books that really just kind of broke that up just a little bit. And so this is just easy ways that you can play with it. You don't have to always go shopping for vintage items, although I do love to do that. Sometimes I get lucky and I have something sitting in my side yard. But a lot of times I'll go to antique stores, I'll go to flea markets. I love to stop by an estate sale or a garage sale and just look for something that has some patina. I just think that things that are old tend to just give your space a lot of character and this feeling of being collected over time. Another designer hack that's actually really, really easy is to create a conversation area. This is something that I see a lot of times when I go into people's homes and they're really struggling with how to put their things together, and they'll tell me something doesn't feel right. Something doesn't feel like home. And a lot of times what'll happen is that people will either shove all the furniture as far away from each other as they possibly can and maybe have the chairs pulled really far back. A lot of times I think people will just center the room around the TV and they don't really think about the fact that if everybody's sitting there and you don't have the TV on, how are you going to be using the space? And so even if all you're gonna do is watch TV in the space, I do think it's still important to think about how you're going to create a conversation area. I do think that when you think about a space from a conversation, it creates that sort of meeting point. I like to use a rug to anchor my conversation areas, especially in a living room, because then you really are kind of segmenting that part of the room aside. That's what we did in the loft. We had kind of an amorphous space that could have been used for a lot of different things, but I really wanted to create an area where it felt like you were supposed to come and sit down and be together in that space. So we set the sofa. It wasn't completely against the wall. We still have it pulled away a little bit just to give it some air around it. And also having the chairs kind of pointing into that space just really helped it to feel like this is an area you're supposed to sit down, you're supposed to hang out, make yourself a drink. If we put the TV in there, which it was wired for a TV, you'd have a place to watch TV, and it was a real hangout space. Now in the bedroom, you may think, well, who's having conversation in the bedroom? Well, I don't know about you guys, but we do. A lot of times I'll be sitting in bed on a Sunday morning, maybe I'm sipping my coffee, looking through one of my decorating books, and my husband will come and he'll sit down in the chair and we chit chat. We do that a lot in our room. And so I like to have a chair in the corner of the room. I think it really creates a great opportunity to have conversation. I love a swivel chair. I've gotten obsessed. I need to stop, but I don't really want to because I love a swivel chair. And I think that a swivel chair just really helps it to where you can swivel to look out the window, you can swivel to chat with somebody. It's just it just looks so good too. I just love it. So I think creating conversation areas is something that you can do with the furniture that you already have, and just sort of gather and think about how the way in which you arrange your furniture, how that will encourage you to chat and enjoy the space with your loved ones. Using repetition. Repetition is one of the oldest designer hacks, tricks, whatever you want to call it. It's one of the very best, and it just works. Repetition just works. So we use repetition a lot throughout this entire project. So make sure you go back and check the entire playlist. The entire playlist is loaded with tips and tricks. We've got the full tour up there. And so it's loaded. You're gonna see repetition throughout. You can see repetition in my own home. I use it in every single project I ever do. Repetition helps your eye to have somewhere to rest. If every single thing in the room is different, your eye can struggle to really read a space and not feel overwhelmed. It doesn't mean that everything in your space is repeating. Sometimes you might want one chair in the corner of the bedroom, but you're gonna repeat the art. And that's what we did. We took really large art and we repeated it. So over the bed, you've got two large pieces that face each other. There's a repeat there. We didn't do a big collage with lots of different artwork that didn't go together. We did the same thing over the dresser. You've got two really big posters. Those are from Desenio, and oh my goodness, I think my discount code is still valid. I'll make sure to leave that link down below in the show notes for you, because they hooked us up for this project. They gave us so many beautiful art prints and they're so affordable. So I'll make sure to leave that link down below for you either way. But we repeated those big posters. But then on the loft, we repeated small prints on that little tiny wall that we had. In the bedroom, we also used the nightstands as a repeating element. They match, and then the sconces above also match, but then the items that were sitting on them didn't match. So you kind of can see that you don't want to use repetition exclusively, or else the space is just gonna start to feel maybe a little bit contrived, a little bit soulless. And I think that varying those items at times can really just add a lot of interest, and it makes it just, yeah, it does. It adds a lot of interest because you're just like, oh, what's over here? And oh, what's over here? And it gives you something to look at and wrap, but you don't want the whole room to be like that. Do you know what I mean? I know a lot of designers don't like to use faux greenery, but for me and a lot of my clients, they want faux greenery. So in my own home, as you can kind of see, I have a lot of live greenery. We just clipped these from the bushes outside. I've got the live fig tree. I don't have so much faux greenery in my own home, but a lot of times that's what my clients want. And especially if we're staging a home where there's not gonna be anybody there to come and water things, or if I'm doing a client's second home and they're not there every day of the week, I need to give some faux greenery to these people. So I've gotten to where I don't hate faux greenery as much. I think that faux greenery can be something very useful. Again, it's a tool that you use. You may not want to use it every single time, right? Like you don't use a hammer for every single job. You've got multiple tools in your toolbox. Repetition. Gonna use that tool when it feels like it's the right thing to be using in that moment, but it's not gonna be the only tool that you use. Same with your faux greenery. So in the space, I used a lot of different kinds of faux greenery. I used a faux tree in the bedroom. I have faux, they're like those little ball flowers. I can't remember what they're called. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'll leave everything linked down below. If you're looking for the books or the items, the sheets, the chair, all that stuff. I always link all these items down below in the show notes for you. But yeah, those were just a little stem that I found at Target. They were very inexpensive. I took them and I arranged them in the vase as if they were real flowers. And I think that's one of the things that really kind of makes faux greenery look really fake, is that it comes kind of mushed, right? And so I like to open it up and really arrange it in either in a planter or in the vase that I'm putting it in. I think that just makes it look really good. Upstairs, I used the faux greenery on the bookshelves and just created a nice big vase overflowing with those little leaves. I think those were again from Target, but I'll double check. But one of my favorite bits of faux greenery is technically not faux, it's actually dried, and that's the moss. I just love to use moss. It's dried, and so therefore it doesn't need any water, and it never turns brown. It's already dried in that green color, and it looks amazing on pretty much any vessel you want to put it on, but I use it mostly in like a bowl. Even this time in the bedroom, it was really more like a footed platter, but it had just enough space for me to get that moss on there. Whether it's real greenery or it's faux, I think adding green to your space just adds a lot of life. It adds a lot of interest. It keeps the space feeling very authentic, and I don't know why, but for most of us, greenery makes it feel like it's home. Probably the thing that I'm most known for, I would say, as a designer, the thing that people just always like, and it's the cozy factor. Yeah, everybody kind of knows me. I love to add cozy factor to my spaces. Even when I have, multi-million-dollar homes that I'm staging or styling, adding the cozy to your space just makes it feel inviting. It makes it feel like home. I mean, we've got the fire going now and got the pillows on the sofa, and you can see how even in my own home, I love for it to feel homey. Easy ways to add cozy factor. Add a beautiful throw blanket over the arm of your chair. I did that in both rooms. I love to layer up the bed. I love to add beautiful linens to those beds. I like to layer the pillows. Although I am prone to being quite minimal, I still add a couple layers of pillows onto the bed. Those are really inexpensive too. I got those at Amazon. It doesn't have to be expensive. It's just a matter of mindfulness of how you can take a few key items and really just layer those things on. Going back to that rug, that's another key way of making a space feel cozy. If that rug wasn't there, the space would have felt a lot colder. I think the materials that you use also really dictate how cozy things feel. So up in the loft area, we had boucle, we had linens, we had that beautiful desk in there that was also made of wood. And so you've got to mix the materials that are all very warm and very inviting. That furniture in that room was actually given to us by Castlery, and oh my goodness, can I just tell you guys, they've given us such beautiful furniture in that space as well, and so I just wanted to give them a shout out for that gorgeous furniture. Then when you look back down at the bedroom, the upholstered bed adds a lot of coziness to the space. And there you have it. Those are just a few ways as a designer that I like to create a beautiful designer space, but I'm using these great budget-friendly hacks. So no matter what your budget is, you can always create a beautiful space. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you got some really great tips and tricks out of it. Let me know down in the comments which of these is your favorite, which one you're already using, and maybe if there's one that I should have added to the list. Let me know down in the comment section. Make sure you also hit subscribe and give the video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it today. Also make sure that you check out our interior design playlist. I love to be able to give you guys tips and tricks and share, and it's just a lot of fun, and I love to do that on my interior design playlist. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.